Hey friends and family, welcome to Marcie Creates. This is Marcie, and welcome to Tutorial Tuesday. As I mentioned on our last video, I was going to go over how to make this component again because I was a little off camera when we did this design. Now this design was done not last weekend, but the weekend before, and we did our Bargain Bead Box Solstice mix, and we mixed using our color wheel whites and blacks and graphic elements. And we are going to make some companion earrings today. So I thought I would make the component first so I could just show you that again, and then we will get started on some earrings. I did pull out more of the types of beads that I used in the necklace. So we have some Z beads, and those are some oblong ones and some round ones. I did want to show you some tricks with some of the seed beads, and then this is what I have left from the Bargain Bead Box. And I did add a few other carnelian shapes that I had in my stash, as well as some other components that I thought we might use, including these spacer beads that I got from Funky Pretty Beads, because, as we all know, these are opposites on the color wheel, and I thought that might add another nice pop of color in with our graphic elements. As another way to use the graphic elements, you can also make it very dynamic by adding a little tiny bit of your complementary color. And we're also going to use, I don't know if we're going to use all of these, but we'll continue to use the heavy Soft Flex onyx colored wire. And I also found this really nice bone color wire that's medium. And then we'll probably use some head pins and things like that. So let me get started by showing you how to make this component. I'm going to just move the necklace over so I've got some room, and we will get started on that component. So for this component I used 18 gauge wire, which is in gold, and you want to pull a generous amount. You don't want to run out. Let me cut that. And then we're going to use our two sizes of our bail making pliers. I believe these are the large ones. And then we've got a medium, small. I think there's one more size. I need to check on that, but I believe there's one more size besides these. But we're going to use this one first because our middle loop is the biggest size. So we're going to warm our wire just like this. Just get it warm. And then you're going to come in with your largest round part there. And you're going to just I just kind of guesstimate. I don't really measure, but I just kind of eyeball where the center is, and then you're going to make a loop like that, just like that. And then the loops next to it, I use the next size, so we're just going to come in right next to it and make another loop, and we will have to spin this around. So there's our second loop. We're going to do the next one on the other side, just like that. We'll spin this around. And so now we have this. Okay, and what I did with this pendant, let me just move this back over here, is I arranged these so that the dangles would hang, you know, the middle one would hang further down. So once you have this piece, you just kind of warm it again with your fingers. And then you can just pull up with your hands like this. And you can kind of spread it out if you want to. Or you can leave them close together, that's up to you. But now you have a component that looks like this. So then what we need to do is our loops to attach our whatever stringing material you're going to use, and then we'd wrap around. So with that, I was taking these smaller of these and coming up a little ways, just like that. And then I'm probably going to get pretty close to it because I don't have a lot of wire on this side. I've got more on this side. As you can see, I didn't make it totally even, but you can make your loops this way. So there's one. I'm going to make my other one. A little bit easier because I got more wire, like I said. Oops. And then, you know, you can kind of just warm it with your fingers, get it the way you want it to look. I think I'm pretty happy with that. And then before, if you want dangles to hang, now there's two ways you can do that. You can go ahead and wrap these, but I'm going to leave it open because you can string your material on there if you want to do chain. And also, you've got to have room to slide your dangles on if you don't use jump rings. And so you'll need to kind of open these up. I'm kind of coming from the top view, and you're going to slide your components till they hang, and then you can move everything back. And then once everything's connected the way you want it, then you will wire wrap these just like I have on this one. So I hope that helps. It helps you. I make these components, you know, I make different variations all the time. I like to play with the wire, so there will be more tutorials on how to make things like that. And so as we're going along now, we're going to go ahead and try to pick up the pearls. We have these cool Z beads, and of course these really neat graphic beads. I found some more of those, and I found some more of these little drops. So we can make several pairs of earrings to kind of go with this necklace. And then this, of course, is our heavier onyx soft flex wire, which I love. So I'm going to move this to the side so we can get going. And again, I don't have a plan. I just thought we'd do, you know, I just pulled out a variety of things and thought we could play. So I also found these really cute suns that I thought might be kind of neat since we're doing such a graphic thing. I thought I'd start with these, and then the mix. This was a Jesse James beads mix that had these really graphic beads. I had another box, another little box, so I have more of those, but these little elephants I thought were cute. So I thought what we would do with these would be to grab some more of our Z beads, our druzy beads, and then add a graphic element like that. And then I thought it would be cool to also pick up one of these carnelian beads left over from our bead box. And then maybe put some pearls down here. And then we'll do some bead caps. Let's see what we have bead cap wise. Don't know if those are too big. Let's see. Yeah. Maybe we'll do some of these saucer beads instead. Those might look kind of nice. Yeah, so for this first pair, I'm adding quite a few things. And so what we're doing is we're adding something from my stash, or no, from the mixes, I'm sorry. Something from Bargain Bead Box, something from my stash, something else from my stash, and then these came from that mix from Jesse James Beads, and something from the Bargain Bead Box. Because as you can see, I only have this much stuff left. So all of this will go back into my bead inventory. This is how you grow your stash. You're always going to have beads left over from these bead boxes. And then it's really fun to just mix them, you know, mix your mixes. So that's what we're going to do right now. So let's put these together. I think for the sake of time, again, I will do one pair and we will do the other pair off camera, just so I can get to do more of them. And I'll do the rest off camera. I think these little elephants are so cute. And with this black and white motif, it looks very kind of safari. I feel like it really kind of works. Kind of African savanna, you know, safari type thing. And then we'll use an ear wire. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to attach this sun. And I believe these will open. Yeah. I'm going to attach the sun to my pearl. And these already came with the wire in them, if you remember, from the Bargain Bead Box. So we're just going to open that up and add our sun. I got started late tonight. I hope this video will upload, you know, pretty quickly. The last few I've done have taken a bit of time. I don't know why that is. But it's just been so hot that I waited till the sun went down because I needed a break, as you can imagine. So now we'll do a wire wrap, and I'm thinking this will be its own component, or maybe we'll stack everything. We might just do a long stack. That may be the way to go, because I don't want, I want everything to be situated where you can see it. May even do a little wire wrapping around the elephant just to keep him from spinning around. We'll see. Let's see, I want to grab some more wire. I did get more wire. Yeah. Well, I think I outsmarted myself and put my wire oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. We'll use the 22 gauge. That's the closest gauge that I can think of to head pins. So that's why I use it. And we'll just pull a nice long piece. So we did a critter necklace on Sunday, and now we're using more critters. I think I'm on a critter kick. But I love all the compliments from the necklace last Sunday. That was a very beachy, fun necklace, and I love the way that tortoise looks with it. So I'm glad you all enjoyed that. That was a fun project. All right, so I'm just going to come in and do my wire wrap loop. And we will add our sun. just going to wire wrap this. Come in and cut our extra. Okay, so seems to me that the last time I did one of these, I actually did a bead cap underneath, because this flat piece doesn't really work well with your, this holds the bead nicer, this won't, but we use the other for the top. So I've actually changed that to a bead cap, and I know that one will fit. Here's our druzy bead. So pretty. Love the sun. And spacer bead. And our cute elephant. See, now it looks like he's standing on like a little stand. That's cute. I like it. And our graphic piece, our black and white, and then our carnelian, which is our red orange from that Bargain Bead Box. Very cute. And I'm going to make sure this is sitting right so that when I make my wrap, let's see, we're going to have to get it sideways. Always think about the way that your ear wire is going to be oriented. And the ear wires, the French ones that we use, are going to be going this way. So we're going to go this way with our loop. Okay. So now I'm going to do a wrap. I do have enough wire, I think, to go behind the elephant. Actually, I may, let's see. Let me hand warm this a little bit. And then we will wrap, I think we'll wrap around these two beads and then come behind the elephant. Now this is a step you don't have to take. If you don't mind him spinning, by all means, you don't have to do this. But it does add another little extra element. But I'm adding this so that he doesn't spin. Just so, you know, I always think about, you know, if you love the little piece that's showing, sometimes you don't want it to spin around. You want it to stay where it's at. So I could have gone with a longer piece, but I think this will still work, because I can hide that in there. If not, I may go back in with another piece and hide that some more. But I think that works. So now he's not gonna now he's not gonna spin. See that? So that is our, I don't know, I'm gonna call them African elephant sun earrings, because that's kind of what they look very tribal to me. I love this stylized sun, and I love this druzy bead, and then this elephant's so cute, and then I love that little graphic pop right there is cool. So, not a long, doesn't take long, but it'll look cute with our necklace. So I'll put them to the neck. I'll put everything next to the necklace so you can see how it coordinates next. So that's cool. So we've got that, and these rings are called, what are these called? Quick links. I forget who makes them, but they're called quick links, and you can macrame around them, you can wire wrap around them, you can seed bead around them. They're very, very versatile. I like using them in a lot of different techniques, and I thought it would be cool. I think we will use these today, or right now. I thought we would take some carnelian and maybe do a little wire wrapping there. And then you've got these beads left over, and we can take a little pop of color maybe in here. That was an idea I had. My thought is to do a little bit of wire wrapping with these on the outside. Like maybe part of the way up, so three of them. Maybe not the long ones. Got these shells, those are cute. I think I like the shells better. I kind of like that organic. Let me see where we gotta see where the holes are drilled though. They may not work. Sometimes using shells, you know, you gotta see where that hole is. They get drilled in different spots. So let's just take a look-see. So they're not gonna hang the way I want them to. Okay, plan B. Or maybe we go to the original. Oh, wait a minute. What about these? Those are cool. Let me find a different. Very cool. I like that. And then maybe at the top here, we will, we should introduce some more, either black, or we could do a pearl. I think I'm going to take these out. I think we're going to put these down here. A pearl. And one of these spacer beads. I think that's what we'll do. Okay, so let me move this over. And for the wire wrapping, we're going to use 24 gauge. Wire. I haven't used this one yet. This is one of my new ones. 24 or 26. I like the 24. But if you want to use a finer, then use the 26. I'm not sure I have any 26. I need to invest in some, because I'm pretty sure I used it all up. Yeah, looks like it's done for. That's all right. So we're gonna make our little drop first, and I'm gonna just do a messy wrap with this, and it's drilled sideways, and it's, you know, faceted. It's a really pretty carnelian bead. So I'm gonna do what I call like a messy loop. So I'm gonna pull a bunch of this 24 gauge wire, a whole mess, as we say in Texas, a whole mess of wire. And I'm gonna grab my really pretty drop here. So it's hanging like this, and I've got a short piece here, and I'm just gonna push that up. And everybody kind of has their own technique. I like to use the short piece as kind of the straight, the loop piece, if you will, and then I wrap with the other one. So let's see how I want to do that. I'm just going to straighten him up a bit. Right down here. I'm going to start my wrap. So we're like this. Kind of makes a triangle shape. Okay, and then I'm going to make my loop. I know this looks funky. It'll make sense in a minute. Just gonna come in here with the loop. Like I said, everybody does this different. So I am not the resident expert of how to do this. I've seen it done many ways, and this is the way that I like to do it. Makes sense to my hands for some reason. So we're start wrapping this little short one. I know it looks a little crazy, but bear with me. And I'm going to work it all the way down. Again, we're making a messy type wrap, so once you're satisfied with how much you've got there, you can take that off. All right, so now comes the fun part. So one of the fun things to do with a shape like this is to go down into the bead. So we're going to do that with these. I'm going to try not to hit the camera with this wire. Anyway, we're going to just start wrapping like this. And we're going to work our way down across. Let me warm this a little. This is a little bit easier with the 26 gauge, but we're going to make do with the 24. And we're just going to wrap over the wires that we just put through our bead. And we're going to make, it's going to look like a little bead cap when we're done. So take your time. As the wire gets shorter, it gets a little easier. Work your way down. I'm not making this super even. I am making it messy on purpose. But as you can see, it's starting to come together. Now, another fun thing I like to do, so you have this much of the wire left, you can come in then with your round nose and you can make a little curly Q. We're just gonna start like we made like we're making a spiral. Let me turn it this way. This is pretty fine wire, so you just take your time. And then I like to use these curved pliers. And we're going to make a little loop. And now you have a really cute, kind of messy wrapped, but I like the texture of the messy wrap. Drop. So that's going to hang from our thing right here. But I also want to attach this little guy, so I'm just going to make a very small loop and attach him. We're not going to wrap this loop. This is just going to be just a gentle loop like these. So we're going to turn that on its side. Put our bead here. Actually, we'll make our loop first because he's going to slide right off. So this is where you have to eyeball it. I come in through like about 1/4 of an inch, and then you're going to come in with your round nose. And work your way back till you have a loop. Then you're going to add your little bead like that. And, you know, he doesn't really fit very good right there like that. I may rethink that because he's kind of sideways. You see that? If that doesn't bother you, now what you could do, what we could do is add a little bicone. That might be cute. And that may just solve our problem. Let's see. Might want 2 of these sandwiched. It may make this loop a little long, but I kind of like the way that looks. Let's see how it looks. Well, I think that's nice, actually. So we made a little bit extra of a component, but I don't mind. I'm not mad at it. Like I said, I come in here with no plan, so that way we all learn at the same time. And if these are not perfect, you just want to make sure they're going to close. Okay? The loop police is not going to come get you. I promise. You do want them going in the same direction though, unless you mean to hang something that's facing a certain way, and then maybe you want to pay attention to having them maybe opposites. It shouldn't be that much of a difference, although we do want our pretty spiral that we made showing. So we do want to probably, let's see, that's sideways. Oh no, we're perfect. We are perfect. So now we're going to add this to this, but we're not going to attach this yet because it's going to hang in the middle there on the bottom, and we have to attach these and this. Boy, I'm making this a complicated earring, but I think it's going to be pretty. We haven't done a super complicated one. It's not that it's complicated, it's just a lot of steps. Let me just put it to you that way. Don't be scared. All right, we're going to add more. It's me messing up if it's messed up, not you. So just make yourself some pie. I just cut myself 22 gauge wire instead of 24 gauge wire. We'll hold that. Make your popcorn, because I'm already like picking the wrong wire and stuff, so you know it's gonna be entertaining. If at least you don't like the design, it'll be entertaining. I think the design will be nice. I do love a challenge. Okay, so here is our quick link, and I am going to wire wrap and do a few little beads on the outside just for some texture. So the hardest part is getting started. So I'm not going to force it, but I'm just going to gently start making some wraps. And yes, your wire is going to catch on everything, so you might want to clear some space. And I think I'm going to do 2 wraps and then add a bead. And then we're going to wrap around, hold on to your bead, and then you're going to wrap back around and get as close to your bead as you can. And this is going to slide around, which is fine because you're going to want to center it. So here's 2 more wraps, and I'm going to actually stop right there and come this way. So I'm going to pull this out because now we're going to add another bead, like a little zip line. And we're going to actually, and while you're doing this, you can straighten up your wraps just by taking some flat nose pliers, and just see how I'm gently scooching them. That's a technical term, scooching them together like that. And that way you can neaten up your wraps. If you have strong fingernails, you can also use your fingernails. I don't really have very long fingernails, so sometimes that works for me and sometimes it doesn't. It is easier with the 26 gauge wire, as I said before, whereas in 24. I'm hitting all my beads. No worries. We're going to wrap again. And the key here is try not to get lots of kinks. Be very gentle. Take your time. It's not a race. The ultimate goal is to... There we go. So there's my 2, and I'm going to add 1 more. Do a little zip line. Hold on to your bead. Gently pull your wire through, and it is going to want to kink on you. It is going to want to do that. Just be aware of that. Take your time. You can hand warm it. And the more you do this, you'll kind of get a little rhythm going. All right. So I'm going to want to straighten those up just a little. And see how my bead slid in there on the inside? That's okay. You're at this stage, you can move stuff around. So you want to just gently pull them out. You know, if that happens, because it will. You can kind of push them together if you want, in whatever arrangement you want them in. And then, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to wire wrap so that this piece that we're making won't slide all over. So I did 2 wraps between each bead, but now I'm going to do probably 5 wraps in the middle. Right now I'm not worrying about the spaces. I'm just going to get them in there, and then I'll use my pliers. Also, these Xyron pliers are really good for this because of the fine points. These are actually even better than... There we go. Okay, now I'm going to add this guy. So I'm going to open him up. I'm going to hang him. close him up. Okay. Now I'm going to continue wire wrapping. I am going to come around that loop and just come on the other side of it, just like that. So now it's going to dangle right where you want it to. It's not going to slide. Okay? And don't worry about this, because guess what? It's going to look the same on the other side, and that's where our little loop is. So when we go to do this side and we do the ear, when we go to do the ear wire, we'll pay attention. Everything else is, you're going to see the same thing on either side. So let's do our 5 wraps. I want to warm this a little. There's 2, 3. I think that's 4. One more. And this is why you need, it takes a lot of wire to do wire wrapping, so you always want to make sure that you pull more than you think you're going to need. Okay. And see, like I said, it's going to try to kink up on you. Always does. It's just the way wire is. Okay. So now we can go back to adding our cute little rondelles. And now we're going to do 2 wraps in between. Remember, we're doing 2 wraps. So again, we're going to hang on to that bead. We're going to push this through. One wrap. Two wraps. Actually, that's 2 wraps. 2 wraps from when you attach it to the string, to the piece. There you go. Now we'll add our next one. Come back here. Ooh, we have an escapee. There's always one in the bunch. Got to give you a hard time. Got to heckle you. That's all right. We know what to do. We talk to our beads. We tell them to mind. At least that works for me. It's kind of like, you know, when you're cutting something with scissors and you have to stick your tongue out so it'll be straight. It's kind of like that. At least that's what I tell myself. Okay, straightening up those wires. And our last bead. Oh, he just went flying. Airborne. It's all right, we have plenty of these. We got a lot of these in this box. I still have, look how many. So many. Love those bargain bead boxes. Even if you don't, you know, all the beads, you got them in your stash for later. And that's really, you know, a good stash builder, as I've said before. And you know how much jewelry we've made with that, with our color theory, and we still have beads left over, so it's a really good value. And I know it is wildly popular. Okay. So, let's straighten these out a little. Let me push this guy through here. straighten these up. So that's looking cute, and we want to make sure they're relatively even. And I still have some wire left here, so I think I'm going to continue with a few more wraps over here. We'll do like maybe 4 or 5. We'll do 4. And then on the inside here, we're going to cut it on the very inside so it won't poke anybody. We'll do that in just a second. I think I want to do one more wrap on this side. But these quick links are very, very versatile. You can do a lot with them. You can use them on necklaces, all kinds of projects. Okay. So, now that we have our wire in here, I'm just going to take this guy and straighten these just a little bit. And then I'm going to push him inside here like this. Okay, and now what we're going to do is cut on the inside of our quick link. Right, just get right in there. And you want to just get as close to that quick link as you can. And then once you have those little bits, then come in with your flat nose and just make sure that's snug. And just feel on the outside so it's not going to poke anybody. And I've cut it on the inside so you can't feel it. So now, here's our component. Very cute. Now we're going to add our graphic element. So, let me think about this, because we want it to hang this way. And, oops, I'm thinking really maybe we should put something on either end of it, like small bead caps, or you got to be careful because you want it to free flow in there. I tell you what we'll do. We'll do a one of these, because then you'll have the little finished. Maybe that. Hopefully that won't go through there. You know, it won't. Good. Excellent. So this is where a little engineering is going to come into play. I am not going to attach this to anything yet. I'm just going to make the component. And then I think then I'm going to have to decide how I want to attach the top pieces together. So this is all I'm going to make right now. It's just a starting of a wrap loop. Then we're going to take, let's see, we did cut some 22 gauge wire. I just had it. Yeah, let's cut a piece of this. Let me get this ready to go. Get rid of that sharp end. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do here, is start a wrap loop. I'm going to have to put on my engineering hat in a minute. Now we have this loop. So, if we hang our quick link like that, I think then we can hang our other bead I like that. That'll work. I'm sure there's other ways to do this, but this is the way I'm going to do it. Just going to wire wrap this real quick. You can use jump rings too. I've seen it done with jump rings. No designs come to mind, but I know I've seen people attach the quick links with the with jump rings. So if you have some tiny jump rings, that's an option. You just have to think about how you want things to hang. And then this bead, which is our pearl, and this bead, and then because it's kind of funky, I think I'll add another bicone up here. Yeah. And our ear wire is going to be going this. We got to go sideways with this again. And now we have to think about where this swirl is, because we want to make sure we have that going in the right direction. So sideways. And let's do our wrap. Making that kind of messy to kind of mimic what was going on down at the bottom. Okay. Now you could leave it like this. This is very cute, but I'm gonna be a little extra. You know me, and I'm gonna add our loop here. And I'm not gonna worry. I think gravity will take care of how it hangs, but you want to make sure when you're putting it on that it's gonna be below the other piece. So let's see. You could play around with the order you do these in. Like I said, I'm playing, so there might be a better order to this. Let me get him on there. There we go. Tricky, but not impossible. Just have to be a little patient, I think. Make sure everything's hanging. That's kind of the key, I think. We're using gravity a lot with this project. But I think it's going to turn out cute. I'm surprising myself tonight. That's kind of an elaborate little, for something I didn't plan on. That turned into quite a little earring project, didn't it? All right, so let's see how this hangs now. We need to move this loop over a little. But yeah, that's cute. I like it. Got your little graphic element. You got our carnelian. We have our little beads from the bead box left over. Some of this verdigris spacer bead that came from Fancy Funky Beads. Funky Pretty Beads. That's it. And we used a quick link. We did some wire wrapping. We did a lot with this project. We did a messy wrap, a little spiral. So as you learn techniques and you can mix them into a project, I think that turned out really cute. Very cute. Lots of movement. We like that with earrings. So that turned out nice. So that was our complicated one of the evening. We're not going to do a complicated one next. So next I wanted to show you a little trick with seed beads that if you don't have like beads like this, okay, or like this, you can get the same effect with black and white seed beads. And what's fun about these is you can play with the pattern. So let me just dump these out. Let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about. I'm just going to use some head pins to illustrate, and then we'll make something. But, oh, there's a little spacer bead. So, if you wanted to do something graphic and add something, say to a pair of earrings, you could do a pattern of like 3 white beads, a black bead, 3 white beads, a black bead, 3 white beads, and you have a pattern. Okay, and you can do that with on the stringing wire, which is what we're going to do next. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this champagne soft flex wire, which is kind of it's called bone. It's not champagne, I'm sorry. They did have a champagne color, but this bone color I thought would be pretty with some of these beads and also some of these. So we're going to just do simple hoops, but we're going to use seed beads as an accent, and we'll just do some focal beads, and they're going to be just loop earrings that have a pattern and just a few beads on the bottom. So I'm going to cut, let's see how much of this we're going to use. Let's say 6 inches. 6 inches of our soft flex, and this is the medium bone color. And then we're gonna we're gonna decide what we're gonna put in the center, and I think I want to put one of these bright orange beads in the center from our bead box. And then let's see, why don't we do these squares, because our white beads are going to be our no, we need something smaller. I would like something smaller than that. Here we go. We still have some more of these neutral beads. Or you could do the gold. Bicones would be pretty. I think I'm just going to do these neutral beads though. If I can find where the hole is. Oh my. I think I had this problem the last time I used these because they're so sparkly. It's like they camouflage the hole. There we go. And you do want some of this wire to show. Because soft flex wire is so awesome. Let's go another direction. Everybody's like, stop it. I really want to use a focal bead. Well, shoot. I'm going back to these shell beads because I really like them. But I don't think they're going to hang right. Let's see. No. Let's go back. Oh, goodness. All right. Let's do what we were doing before. I always reserve the right to change my mind. And so now you have a choice of how you want to do your, so there's a couple things I was thinking about. I thought it might be cool to do black on one side and white on the other. Then I thought maybe just a big band of black, a tiny band of white, and a big band of black, or a combination of the two. So let's see how this looks. I'm just gonna, and this wire is nice because you can just string right onto the wire. You don't need a needle. It just helps you scoop the beads up. I think I'm gonna do 5 white, 3 black, and 5 white. We'll just do one side to see how we like it. I like it. Let's do the other side. 1, 2, 2. Hello. 2, 3, 4. Boy, nobody wants to cooperate. They want to go flying with their buddy. I don't know where that bead landed. I have beads all over the floor, you guys. It's like, ugh. I probably have a whole strand of beads all around the floor. All right. 3 of these. Come on. Everybody cooperate. Do you talk to your beads? Or am I the only crazy person that does that? I can't be the only one. You can tell me, I won't tell. Unless you confess on the Facebook page. In our Facebook group. Those of you who have not joined the Facebook group, it is called Marcie Creates. Look for it under groups. And if you're not comfortable with that, you can follow me over on Pinterest for ideas and inspiration under Marcie Creates, one word, and then Studio. So I want to make sure to bring that out. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. Apparently, comments and likes help my algorithm, whatever that is. You know, I'm an artist. I'm not a mathematician. All right, that's very cute. And then what we could do to tie it all together is grab maybe one of these guys, or, ooh, maybe the big one. That would be cool. And we'll do some, let's see, is that big enough for the bead cap? Nope. That's all right. But before I do that, I want to use the crimp beads. So I'm going to crimp. I'm going to crimp these together. And we're going to use our little magical crimping tool. And we do want wire showing, because it is this really nice soft flex that's so gorgeous. It's a shame to cover it up. You could do black or white. I chose the bone color because this is not super white, a lot of these beads, so I thought it would go. And it is a neutral, and not everything has to be matchy-matchy, you know. It does add a little bit of interest when you can kind of switch up your wire or mix your metals and that kind of thing. So I got my ravioli. I'm making, and the key with this, of course, is to make sure it's centered as you go around. It makes that pretty bead. So no need for a crimp cover. And we're going to cut one of these, because we don't need 2 anymore. And we're going to add our really pretty bead. And then we're going to make a loop up here, but I have to add another crimp bead. And then we will make a loop. And I probably should have done a larger length and 6 inches. And that just goes to show you how quickly you go through wire. But I think this will work. You don't need a very big loop for your ear wires, so this should work. I'm gonna come in there and grab it real fast. Whoa.
Did you bake?
No. Pardon me. So, as you can see, we had a mishap with the wire. I did not get it in there in time to close it up, and also it didn't get smushed very good. So what I think I'm going to try to do is just go over that. If I can't, we'll have to restring it, and I am not going to make you suffer through that, but that's an argument for having your wire longer than you think you need it. Let's see if I can salvage this. Gonna be close. Hold your breath. Okay. Well, I don't recommend that, but use more wire than you think you need. I think I used 6 inches there. Use 7. Use 7. Okay? You heard it from me. And this other one, I'll cover with a crimp cover. And it'll just look like another little bead. And that's fine. It happens. It happens, you know? But this is a way to add graphic elements with seed beads. And you can go wild. Another really cool thing that I've seen is where people, you know, kind of make the pattern. They make really elaborate patterns, and then they use many strings, and then they make a big necklace. It takes a lot of time, but it's a really cool effect. And maybe I'll try to find some on Pinterest if I can. But this is a great way to add a graphic element of black and white. And you can do this also if you have bicones, you know, or if you have black and white little rondelles like this. You don't necessarily have to have seed beads, but everybody has seed beads, it seemed like. So it's a great way to add a graphic element to your earring. So let's just move these over, and I'm going to pull out our necklace again so we can see our earrings. I also kind of like that bone color soft flex wire because it looks nice with the pearls. So here's our necklace. I'm just going to push these out. I'll clean the mess later. But here's our necklace. We have this earring, which looks very cute with it. We have our safari elephant wire wrapped extravaganza right there. Also very cute. And then we have our very detailed but fun wire wrap. That almost looks like a sun, doesn't it? But I think those turned out cute. And think about what you can do with seed beads. I know not everybody does seed bead weaving, but there's lots you can do with seed beads. In fact, I may do a few things called Fun with Seed Beads, where we do just nothing but stuff with seed beads that have nothing to do with wire wrapping. But anyway, I think those turn out nice. I, again, didn't have a plan. But now that I see these, I would love to see this in I would love to do this in some different colorways. And I absolutely love this component. I'm glad I had 2 of these mixes so I could, because only one came in each mix, so I'll be able to make a pair of earrings. And I think they coordinate nicely with our necklace, so they all coordinate. And you got to see how to make this component again. So that's this right here. So we did a lot in this Tutorial Tuesday. Yay! I'm happy. I think they turned out nice. I'm going to give you a little close-up with my hands out of the way so you could see all those. All the eye candy. Do try to play with quick links. They're fantastic for lots of different reasons, and I will be using them more in the future, so you'll see other ways to use them, because they're a super versatile thing to have in your finding stash to use on many, many different projects. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Thank you for joining me. I hope you all are doing well. Please stay safe and take care of yourselves and your families. And I will see you on the next video.